the BMW X3. Now this is a really good all-rounder. In fact, you can think of it as the multi-tool of the car world because, well, it can be economical, it's desirable, it's fun to drive, and it can also go off-road. Well, to a fashion. It's also very practical as well. So getting in the back is nice and easy, even for your elderly relatives, because the door opening is quite wide and you don't have to stoop down to get in. So if I move across, you'll see just how much room I've got, and yes, loads of knee room and headroom. The X3 is brilliant for carrying rear passengers. You can pull this down, rest your arm on it if you want. There's some cup holders there. Now, as standard, this car comes with split folding rear seats, but you can pay extra to have three-way split, so you can lower this central part here if you want to carry skis and maybe two people in the back at the same time, or even large pieces of timber. If you want to carry three people in the back, it's not that bad either. Yes, you do have this big hump in the floor, but the footwells are large, the car's quite wide, and so it is doable. Now, if you want to see just what it's like with three people in the back, click on the top right-hand corner of the screen on the card to see our in-depth practicality review of this car. And that brings us on to the boot. So, the boot on this car is absolutely massive, and as standard, you get an automated tailgate, though if you're impatient like me, you'll end up confusing it. Sometimes I think it's easier to just do that. Okay, yes, like I was saying, the boot is very large. It's a nice square shape as well, and you can get it with things like adjustable tether points, lots of nets, straps, hooks, and I like the fact that the parcel shelf, you just flip it like that to remove it, which is handy. What's not so good is that you can only fold down the seats using the levers on the top of the seats. There's no clever release mechanisms at the back. But you do get a flat load bay with no load lip, which is great. There is some underfloor storage there, but unfortunately, it won't fit the parcel shelf. So you've really got nowhere to put this. Excuse me, why am I still holding this? Thank you. So another thing that I'm not so keen on, dare I say it, is the design. Now, I know it's desirable, of course it's desirable, it's a BMW, but I just think it's one of their least attractive models. It's just not as sharp looking as a Mercedes GLC, and it's the same story, I'm afraid, with the inside. So the interior design, it just looks a little bit dated. I can't fault the build quality though. This feels like a solid car, and in-car storage is good as well. There's lots of cubbies dotted about the place. And equipment, that's impressive as well. All you really need is the SE model because it's got pretty much everything. You get leather seats, you get parking sensors, you also get satellite navigation, and you operate it using this swivel wheel and touchpad system known as iDrive, and it is the best in the business. And if you want to see our full review of it, then click on the top right-hand corner of the screen on the card for our in-depth video review of the iDrive infotainment system. And that brings us on to the cool tech features of the X3. Here's 5 of them. With BMW teleservices, a mechanic can check possible faults with the car remotely. Thanks to the internet connectivity, you can catch up on stocks, the weather and the news, and it'll even read out stories for you while you're on the move. Put the car into reverse and the wing mirror automatically tilts down so you can see your wheels, so there's no excuse for curbing. With a subscription service, you can dictate emails, texts and even Twitter posts from the car. You can get the car with auto braking, which can spot vehicles and people. I'm not too sure about animals though. However, not everything about this car is great. According to a leading consumer survey, the BMW X3 isn't exactly the most reliable car in the world. Oh dear. In the manual version, the pedals are so far set to the right that you feel like your feet are almost out the door. Don't like diesel? Well, bad luck, you can't get a petrol version of the X3 in the UK. There's this annoying phone cradle thingy which just eats into the central cubby. Large rooms may look cool, but they absolutely knacker the ride quality. You've been warned. You can solve this problem with the optional adaptive suspension. Actually, that setup is pretty essential on all models because BMW has given this car fairly firm suspension, and it rides a little bit too bumpy, I think, for an SUV. But on the flip side, it does actually handle very well. But if you've got the adaptive dampers, you get the best of both worlds. You get a comfort mode and you get a sports mode, and then you can really exploit this car's, well, it's rather surprising, grippy handling when you're not hooning it around. It's reasonably quiet, though you do get quite a lot of tyre roar when you're going at speed. Visibility is pretty good though. The only problem is this large blind spot just there. Although the other pillars are quite thin, and you can actually see for yourself by clicking the top right hand corner of the screen on the card to watch our 360-degree video. This particular car is the X30D and it's powered by a 3-litre diesel, which is absolutely storming. So you can get this car from 0 to 60 miles an hour in under 6 seconds, and BMW says it will return 48 miles per gallon, though if I look at the trip computer, I'm getting 35, so not so good. Now most people will actually go for the lower powered 2-litre diesel, which it's quick enough, but if you do that, make sure you upgrade to the automatic gearbox, which is standard on this 30D, because that auto is brilliant. I reckon it's the best in the business, and well, BMW's manuals, they're not the best in the business. So then, overall, what do I think of the BMW X3? Well, it is a bit dated inside and the ride is too firm if you don't have the optional adaptive suspension, but it handles well and is very practical. Now, if you click up there, you can see some more reviews and find out the best deal you can get on a car at carwow.co.uk. Thanks for watching. Click over there for our group test video between the BMW X3, the Mercedes GLC and the Range Rover Evoque. And if you enjoyed this video, please like it, share it and subscribe to our channel. Now, did you know the blue and white on the BMW badge actually represents the colours for the state of Bavaria, not a white propeller against the blue sky, as quite a few people think.